Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, for your Sunday series, it's going to be a best of 3 from the group stages of Day 1 from DreamHack Summer 2020. It's going to be PartinG versus TY. Top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. It is PartinG. And in the bottom right, we have a blue Terran player, TY. Both Korean, both incredible talents. PartinG won... what was it? What was it called back in 2012? Basically won the World Championship for StarCraft 2 back in 2012. TY here has not actually won the World Championship, but I feel like he's a better player here in 2020. So we'll have to see. A TVP best of 3 here. Hiding the barracks so that the scouting probe will freak out and start looking for it. But hey, there's not a scouting probe. PartinG knows exactly what he wants to do. He doesn't care what TY... Oh, there it is. Kind of hard to see here on Dathara for game number 1. Or Dathora, depending on how you want to say the map name. I think there's a bit of a controversy about that. Or a controversy, if you happen to be English. Anywho, probe scouting in. See what's what. Sees the double gas opening. Sees nothing. Nothing here. So it's like, alright, so it's a proxy starport or something. Maybe a lot of marauders. Entirely possible. That is some early gas, though. That is so much gas from TY. It is going to be one Reaper. So this Reaper's name is Odysseus, the Greek general who created the Trojan horse. He displeased a lot of the gods by causing Troy to fall. On his way back home, various gods schemed to prevent his return. After many island-hopping antics, Poseidon just teleported Odysseus through space and time, sending him to the far future. Upon his arrival, Odysseus was arrested for not speaking space English and sent to the Reaper program. Brutal stuff, man. I mean, I don't think Odysseus was speaking English anyway. He was Greek, so, like, interesting, yeah. I mean, I guess he wasn't speaking space English, so that's accurate. Anyway, he made a zealot. PartinG did, because he's worried about what's happening right now, because he's like, all right, I saw Reaper show up and kill me. There's double gas happening. What is the... it's this factory up here from TY. It's going to be Cyclones, would be my guess. Just with all the gas that we're pumping out of this thing, it's gotta be Cyclone, doesn't it? It'd be weird if it was Hellions, especially because you can't get an add-on there. Oh my goodness. Alright, so just Starport. So Widowmine, Starport. Widowmine drops that are fast, I guess, is what we're looking at. But again, PartinG has a pretty good idea of what's going on. He's preparing for it. He's got a Stalker out. He's sending another Stalker around. He's sending a Zealot up to try to get some damage done, because he's like, you know what? I bet there's not much home for TY. TY has a bugging out SCV down here on the low ground, trying to see what's what. And what's down here is you're getting blocked from going into your own house. So the Zealot shows up and the Stalker shows up, and suddenly TY is like, oh, I literally have nothing at home but SCVs right now. This is bad. If this Zealot gets in, it's going to be a bad time for sure. I do have some Marines out, which is useful, but the Stalker should be able to shove those guys away too. The Stalker will beat both of those Marines pretty handily, although... Okay, we're distracted by an SCV just for a second. Don't worry about us. Additional Stalkers pushing on down. PartinG does love his Stalkers. He's got a really strong play with Warp Prism and Blink Stalkers against Terran that is kind of nuts. But meanwhile, Odysseus is here, and again, pretty darn good warrior. Imagine he would take pretty quickly to the Reaper jetpack. Regardless, man, this Stalker control here from PartinG, it's one of his best characteristics. Oh, TY just lost a Reaper to probes back home. Okay, that's what kind of series this is going to be. This is nuts. I will tell you, I did watch some of this live, and I was like, I got to cast this series. What is even happening right now? So the Zealot gets burned down by the Marines. That's really nice for TY, but the Stalkers are here. Not really focusing down anything because he's worried about the Widowmine shots that just killed 10 of his probes back home. So he gets caught looking a little bit there, loses a couple of his Stalkers. That Marine right there, yep, he dead. One more shot down, nice target firing, nice recognizing the health bars in that location. Does that Widowmine get out? One of the Widowmines actually gets out. This one gets replanted at the natural, and you know what? I kind of feel like it's going to fire. PartinG! Oh, Observer. Observer showing up, but get the... You know what would be... Oh, I kind of feel like it'd be better if it took down the Observer, but I guess killing a Stalker is nice because he doesn't have the Armory, so the permanently burrowed ability there, the Drilling Claws, is not there. And as a result, it was going to be revealed anyway, so I guess maybe killing a Stalker is a higher value target than killing an Observer. Finally finds this. Oh my gosh, a Thor. Oh, We have been taken by surprise, ladies and gentlemen. A Thor is here in a frigging medevac to ruin PartinG's day. TY, you're a madman. You know that to beat a madman, you must be a madman yourself. And here we are. All right, so TY. Thor. Oh my. Holy Artosis Pylon, Batman. The overcharge is here. Wait, that's not even an overcharge. That's a regular heal up. That buys time, man. That buys some time on that Pylon to stay alive. Otherwise, it would be dead. Probes in here to fight against this guy. But the Stalkers, you know what? Yeah, Stalkers do bonus damage versus armored. So they're a decent answer to Thor's regardless. And the Thor does end up going down. So TOI a little bit sloppy there. But again, he couldn't save it. There were so many Stalkers that the medevac had to get out of there. It already is on there. Well, it's dead now. Anyway, dude, is PartinG just going to win game number 1 here? I mean, he's taking some damage here from these Marines. He's losing some probes, but he is on 2 bases, and TY is only on 1. So PartinG can afford to lose some probes there, and that's your good game for game 1. All right. Sure. That's game 1. This is a bananas. This is such a crazy TVP between these two players. Yeah, PartinG gets it. He was up in economy. He had 2 bases. TY hadn't even really tried to expand this entire game. He's going for a 1-base proxy style shenanigan stuff. Did kill a ton of probes. Killed 13 probes. But 8 SCVs went down for TY regardless. It was 29 to 21 workers. Army supply here was 17 to 14. TY maybe a little bit premature. He only has 6 Marines though. And production tab has a tank and a Liberator out. I don't know. It feels a tiny bit premature based on the circumstances, but in the long run, not having an expansion is massively a problem for TY, and PartinG being on 2 bases, despite losing so many probes, is going to be fine the longer the game goes on. So that's it for game 1. That was, jeez. That was zippier than I expected it to be honest. All right, let's move into game number 2 then. Don't go anywhere. It's only been 5 minutes. Why would you leave? Game 2 is here on Eternal Empire. Bottom left, PartinG. Top right, TY. Man, game 1 was weird. I remember it getting weirder, but we'll have to see if it's in this game or maybe the next game. If PartinG wins this one, then there will be no next game because he will win 2-2-0 here for your Sunday series. Alright, so no proxies from either player because the workers would be across the screen by now. Or at least starting. So, quick plug for the Falcon Paladin Hour. It is a weekly podcast with myself and Somicron. Talk about StarCraft 2. We talk about GSL. We make predictions about it. And the loser has to do stuff like, I don't know, play 5 hours of the stupidest, hardest version of Halo that there is and stream it on Twitch. Take a guess who that was. Anyway, twitch.tv/Falcon Paladin. Good place to go if you want to see me playing other stuff. It is a lot of fun. Anyway, just search Falcon Paladin on your podcast app, no matter what it is, Apple or Android, or shoot Windows Phone. We're out there too. We're on Spotify. Check us out. You'll enjoy it. I promise. Probe comes scouting in, trying to see what's what, trying to harass this poor SCV that's just doing his own job. Just trying to build a barracks, man. I mean, sometimes he wishes he was a Protoss probe. All he'd have to do is come over, start up a warp portal, and just go back to mining. But he's also glad that he is not a drone, because he doesn't want to die to become a barracks. That doesn't sound very fun either. I don't know. Like, being a SCV in the StarCraft universe is not a good time, period. You're probably going to die. You're just working non-stop all the time. Every battle. Maybe there's downtime, right? Like, maybe there are times between battles when you can just hang out and watch TV. Sounds kind of nice. But when you're in a battle, it's incredibly stressful. You never know when a Widowmine's going to show up and murder you, and Mutalisks are going to fly in out of nowhere and start destroying your face. It's a bad time. In general. Alright, so PartinG's making an Adept. This looks like a much more standard game for game numero 2 here. Working on a factory, and this guy is sneaky though from PartinG. I see you. I see you hiding stuff up here. This is gonna be a pylon. There's no way it's not going to be a pylon at all. I love the shield battery from PartinG. Just in case a Reaper does show up, the shield battery helps keep dudes alive quite nicely, actually. It's a good way for probes not to die is by putting a shield battery in your mineral line. Good against Banshees too, actually. So the Adept shows up, and oh my gosh, can she snipe down the SCV before the command center? Oh, does pause the command center construction and gets out of there. Okay, quick pause. That's annoying. Another SCV has to come down and should be able, yeah, is going to finish that. Nice lift on the supply depot. So the Adept doesn't get inside the house. That would have been disastrous, but this is happening up here. I see you. I see you, round 2 pylon. A Stalker's across the map. Oh, the Adept wanted to get a couple more hits off before she died. Wasn't quite able to do it. But now, with 3 Marines and a Hellion, the damage output is a little bit nuts. Are you going to find this? Dude, he found it. Look at this. Ta-da! He found the proxy, found the Dark Shrine, found the gateway. He's like, alright, cool. So DTs are going to be a problem. I need to save up my energy at this point. Dark Shrine on the way means we don't do mules for some time, but we do start a Raven. Oh, maybe all we need is a Raven, eh? I think you're correct. I think all you need here is a Raven to stay alive against a DT play, if you're Terran. I mean, and stuff, right? You can't just have a Raven and then be like, all right, well, Raven's detecting the DT and I don't have anything to kill it. We'll be fine. No. You need stuff too, but TY is going to have stuff by default because he's a good Terran player. Just having stuff is his way of life. So robotics facility coming in with a warp prism. Makes a lot of sense. Warp prism, bump up some stalkers up into this area. Yeah, this Marine group and this Raven are like, all right, the DTs start trying to show up. We're going to shut them down. We'll show them who's the sheriff in town here. Here they come. DTs are arriving. I really don't see them accomplishing anything at all. I mean, look at this. Look at this setup here. So that one, yeah, just go. Just is that like 1H? Oh, auto turret tossed down to finish it off. That was brutal. Brutal execution of that fleeing Dark Templar. Well played by the Raven pilot. Meanwhile, Hellion tries to get in, but nope, not allowed. Stalker holding the wall, except not holding the wall anymore, but nobody's trying to get in anyway, so it doesn't matter. And 47 to 39 workers in favor of PartinG. DT gets inside the main base, so a couple SCVs go down. This is what I'm talking about. You're just working your butt off, trying to be a prosperous and productive worker for the Dominion. And suddenly this invisible dude you can't even see starts hacking to death your coworkers right next to you, and then next thing you know, you're dead instantly. One shot dead. I mean, it's a quick death. It's not a lot of suffering involved, which is nice, I guess. But still, honestly, brutal existence. Third base from PartinG coming up. And Blink getting researched by him as well. Look at this. DT comes back in. Oh, that guy. Oh, he didn't get the alert. Everybody else got the alert to get out of there, but the alert to get, unfortunately, did not make it to the SCV in the refinery. And he popped out to, surprise, instant death from, again, something he can't see. Although, maybe the missile turret is providing vision for these guys over here. Are we serious with this with PartinG? That's 4 more SCVs down. That is 9 SCVs killed in this game. TY's like, all right, look. This is ridiculous. Let's go. He's spending a lot of resources on DTs. He can't have a giant scary army. And that's true. TY's up 36 to 28. It's just a couple of stalkers and sentries and stuff. And there's a Colossus on the way, which does tip the balance of power maybe a little bit into PartinG's favor, especially because he's getting extended thermal lance. But I don't know if that's going to be part of this upcoming battle at all. So, yeah, this is rough. This is a really rough situation. Nice. Ah, the force field's not quite enough. The Marines can squish through. The auto turrets are down. The auto turret actually firing on this Nexus before it gets wiped out by the Stalkers and the Colossus. Marines and Marauders drop over here and deal with this annoying little proxy that's caused him nothing but grief today. And he's dealing with future DT drops up here quite effectively, too. You know what would be awesome as a Viking? Like, just one Viking would be super good just to wipe out this Warp Prism. Or, I was going to say, or hope the Warp Prism just stays around long enough for you to murder it with Marines. Okay, DT down before it get picked up. And the Warp Prism taking some shots, too. Does he get it? Oh, he gets the Warp Prism. Nice. Very, very nice play there from TY. Okay, worker value is still, worker count super high for PartinG at this point in the game. Resources lost 2,000 for PartinG and 800 for TY. So, I mean, the damage done here not really paying for itself from the Dark Templar perspective, if and you ask me. More Colossus Extended Thermal Lance is done. Working on charge here, too. And at this point, I would say that TY is up in army supply, 62 to 38. He's down in workers, which means he needs to get some damage done, and he's moving out in order to get some damage done now. Now the question is, how do you handle the Colossus? Well, it's a good number of Marauders, and it's only one Colossus. Maybe some auto turrets, and maybe some interference matrix from the Raven on that big old Colossus, and there is enough energy to do that. So we'll keep an eye on it here. Archon in production, kind of hard to deal with if you don't have EMP, but if you have a lot of Marines, you're going to be just fine. That poor guy just left behind. Just left behind there. TY sharking around the other side. It's like, okay, apparently PartinG knew I was coming this way. That's super annoying. Maybe you go around the other way and give that a shot instead. Keep making stuff back home. He is making some Vikings to deal with the Colossus now. He's not entirely dependent upon the Marauders to get that done, and, you know, the Raven necessarily. Kind of pulling back a little bit, though. All right, that's interesting. Ghost Academy on the way. Maybe he really wants to wait for Ghost before engaging, which it might be a mistake to do that. Finally, this Dark Shrine that's been sitting here unpowered for like 5 minutes does get taken down by TY's army. He's trying to take a third base up in this area, but he's so late as a fourth base from PartinG is up. It's up, and it is ready to rock. Widowmine burrowing on the ramp, like that positioning there quite a bit. Quite a bit indeed. This is a completely undefended fourth base. Like, if TY shows up with 4 Marines, I think this is in a lot of trouble. But PartinG put the pressure on so that TY doesn't really have the thought to go on over and try. So here we go, jumping on top of everything. It's PartinG blinking in. The Archon's at the front getting damaged. Nice interference matrix on the Colossus. The Colossus back here doing some good work, but also getting target fired by the Vikings. Also interfered with. Down. Everything from PartinG is getting ripped apart here. TY's army supply 66 to 15. All of a sudden, whoa, PartinG was way up, and he just kind of threw there. The Widowmine's getting shots off on the retreating Stalkers. It's 72 to 27 army supply at the moment. There's a Templar Archives coming up from PartinG right now. He can't really remax an army by any stretch. He doesn't have the economy or the bank for that. TY kind of holding back, though. I thought for sure he would march across the map and try to get something done. He's got his Ghosts. He's got his Vikings. Maybe he's healing up a little bit. Because when you're moving, when the medevacs are moving, they're not healing. They can't heal and move at the same time. Because can you imagine a more, like, ridiculous thing? That'd be amazing. Is the Raven dead? He must have taken out the Raven. Yeah, so the Stalkers did take down the Raven, but not before both of those Colossus got interfered with. That was huge. What a fantastic battle there from TY, or maybe it's a bad one from PartinG. I don't know at this stage. Stalker Zealots heading up to the north, trying to see what's what. And unfortunately, he's not really in a position to stop his fourth base from dying, but guess what? I don't know that TY is in a position to stop his third base from dying either. There's a lot of charge lots here. Okay, so the fourth Nexus from PartinG looks like it's going to go down. There are a couple shield batteries, but that's about it. Nexus down. Zealots coming on in. SCV is trying to hold it. There are a couple Liberators. The Liberator Defender mode circles are going to be hugely important here. There are not much anti-air to deal with these Liberators at all. Trying to get up this ramp. The Stalkers are focusing the Liberators down to some extent. The Marauders are trying to kill the Stalkers, but the Zealots are cutting through everything on the ground. The Guardian Shield is up here for PartinG. Somehow he's got 59 army supply, but oh, the defensive storms. Aye, the storms, laddie. Not quite enough to make it happen. The natural base is going to die for PartinG. It can he hold. He's trying to make Marines all the time. 38 probes have died. A lot of SCVs have died here too in the long run. These Zealots are just unkillable, but they're sitting in the circles of doom and therefore very killable as it turns out. Yeah, they're just kind of A-moving into the Marines, and the Zealots are completely dead. So on the other side, it's not a huge army from TY, but you know what? It's going to take down the third Nexus that they've killed today, I think, or maybe just the second. My counting is a little bit off. Depowers those warp gates. PartinG is left with 6 warp gates at home, a little bit of income. It's 30 to 27 workers right now. TY has a bit of an advantage, and he'll have more of one once the SCVs get over here to the third base that he replanted. What the heck is killing probes? Maybe Widow Mines? Do this one, though. This guy, look at this guy. Sneak, 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 sneak. Burrow, and boom. 4 more. 7 kill Widow Mine there. 32 to 21 workers. PartinG is not a happy camper. Nor, honestly, should he be in this game. So somehow, this 4th base is alive. Did he replant this? Not enough, though. TY gets the win. PartinG taps out here in 13 minutes. What happened? What did he just observe her over and be like, ah, yes, there's actually an army. And meanwhile, I have 2 High Templar, 2 Zealots, 2 Archons, and a Stalker. Like, I'm not winning this engagement by any stretch. Does he have a 3rd base? He does. GG. All right, so that was just a scouting GG. He just saw what was up, just made sure that TY hadn't completely fallen over and, like, collapsed of a heart attack and stopped playing, because that was really the only way that PartinG was going to win that game. You know, helps to confirm. Okay, so that's game 2. We're tied up. Let's move on into game number 3, which was promised to be a little bit nuts in a lot of ways. This was a pretty nuts game, too, though. I mean, that attack was a big one. And it really looked like PartinG had the advantage, but suddenly both the Colossus are out of it. The Stalkers are trying to target down the Raven, can't quite get there. The Vikings are doing terrible damage. The Marines and Marauders are killing it. Without the splash damage, especially the Marines and Marauders are killing it. PartinG just with, you know, Zealots and Stalkers for the most part. So let's keep it moving. Game 3 coming up now. We're on Golden Wall for game number 3 of this best of 3. Bottom left, TY. Bottom right, PartinG. Now, the weird thing is on this map, I'm not entirely sure which way this should go, right? Kind of feel like maybe this is right, because bottom left is the most bottom. I don't know how to explain this. I think we'll just do this. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments and just leave me a comment, because I read all the comments. All right, so TY is going proxy. Are you ready for it? There it is. Proxy Barracks in game number 3. This match, though, these guys, it's PartinG and it's TY doing crazy stuff to match up with PartinG, man. This is like TY is doing PartinG builds, and this is why you probe scout. This is why you worker scout if you're Protoss. If you can't afford to as a Zerg player, I'm sorry. Use your overlords for it, man. But check it out. This probe's going to come up and be like, okay, so number 1, there's no barracks visible at the front door, which means either there's a barracks somewhere hidden inside the base, possibly up back here at the natural, or maybe even at the 3rd, trying to freak me out. Just trying to make me think there is a proxy when there's not a proxy, and then I'll respond to a proxy, and then bad things will happen to me. But the other option is this is actually a proxy, in which case, if I prepare for it, it'll be better for me, and it won't hurt my economy. So he's preparing for it. He's making a Zealot. He's getting a pylon. Cyber Core here. SCV comes up trying to build a bunker would be my guess. I don't know why else an SCV would be right here. But yeah, the Marine production has begun. It's going to be extremely terrifying. There's some probes out to deal with this. Reminds me of how Zerg players will pull drones out to deal with this stuff. So Zealot present. If I was the Zealot, I might just start chasing that Marine. I mean, if TY doesn't want to commit here, I think PartinG's okay with that. Like, look, man, you're the one who's proxying. You're the one who's down on economy right now. I'm the one who can defend with probes and be better economically than you are. Another Zealot joins the party, and suddenly TY not happy about that. Not happy. Whoa! He pulled all the boys. All right, all the boys are coming in. This is turning into like a Zergling versus Zergling setup where I don't even know who's going to win this thing. I mean, worker versus worker, TY's SCVs are better at this than the probes are. The Zealot back here, staying alive with 2 kills and 16 HP is honestly an inspiration to all Protoss everywhere. Shield Battery catches him and heals him up. That Zealot staying alive was a massive reason for PartinG not being able, or rather for TY not being able to win that thing. Look at this. He wants to kill the retreating SCVs. It's 13 to 7 workers right now. TY has mules, though. So I don't know that income is necessarily going to be massively in favor of... actually, it's in favor of TY. Look at this guy. 5 kill SCV Zealot was down to all of a brilliant 4 HP there. He's actually going to be the one to find the proxy too. This is incredible. This is incredible. All right, so, I mean, he does, right? Yeah, he finds them. Then TY decides it's time to head on back home. Ah, that was good. That was a really, really good start there. Okay, so on the other end, man, StarCraft 2 cheese, yo. It's fun, and it's really fairly common as well. TY pulling the barracks home. No big deal at all. Building a factory. And I think PartinG doesn't want to. He's got 16 workers. He's getting a second gas here. And he's not expanding. I wonder if he's planning some shenanigans. I mean, he's got a couple zealots out here. Couple stalkers continuing to pump off of this one gateway. Continuing to make probes. And at some point, he's going to have to expand. Like, he really just can't keep making probes here on this base and feel happy about it in the long term. TY, on the other hand, doesn't really feel safe to expand either. He's making that factory we talked about earlier. No command center inside the main base. No command center on the low ground to speak of. Gateway Robo here from PartinG. All right, so kind of a one-baser. Robo, Gateway, double gas, although not fully saturated on either of his gases. There we go. 2 on each at least. Makes sense. 1 out of 3 on one and 2 out of 3 on the other was like, what? But yeah, he's one base in it. What's he working on? Yeah, the counterattack is high grounded by the Marines. Extremely annoying stuff. Warp Prism in production from PartinG. An extra gateway here and still no expansion, man. This is one base Protoss shenanigans. And TY is not falling for the bait. Like, he's not being overly macro. He isn't expanding. He is also one basing it here. Going for Widow Mines, going for Medivacs, trying to Widow Mine drop his Protoss opponent even while PartinG is one basing him. Stalkers moving out across the map. There's a good number here as well. Recognizing, okay, there's not an expansion from TY. Got to worry about some kind of an attack coming in. Protoss, you know, not as good at flying as Terran is. So you might want to watch, well, for something like this, where TY is sending a medevac across the map. And cruising across the map indeed. Now, there's an observer on the way. There's already an observer out, but I think it's at the front. With this army somewhere around there, but PartinG is going to try to bash up this ramp and maybe warp in reinforcements here too. Meanwhile, the Hellion gets in. There's Marines in here at the same time. A Widow Mine does manage to burrow and fires on Stalker, taking down one of the Stalkers and a couple of these probes. 13 probes have died, but on the other end, is there enough for TY to hold off the aggression out of these Stalkers? I don't rightly know. Dude, PartinG's down to 2 probes. 2 probes right now. Stalker out. Stalker's on the other side trying to do stuff. It's 19 to 20 army, but TY has an economy right now. Sure, a lot of his SCVs are out trying to defend, which means they're not bringing in the bacon. But on the other side, PartinG has no bacon to speak of either. And in fact, like, he just checked for a natural... I mean, oh, we can get Korean announcers. That's awesome. By the way, tank got sniped out. PartinG, his army supply is 5 Stalkers and a Warp Prism, and that's your GG. That was, I mean, 3 very weird games. Very, very, very weird games there today. I enjoyed them, right? I enjoy them quite a bit. I hope you enjoyed them as well. They're as nuts as I remember from these 2 players. PartinG doing crazy stuff, but guess what? TY going for the proxy there too, trying to out PartinG, and it worked. It totally worked. Once again, Terran shows up on the other side with a Widow Mine, Marines, and Hellion, and PartinG has no answer for it. On the other side, he's trying to go Stalker, but against a large Marine ball. It was largely Marines. Like, I don't know what he expected to be able to do with Stalkers against that number of Marines and tanks, but he thought he'd get more damage done, I guess, is my expectation there. But yeah, 29 probes down. TY largely owning the income, especially a couple minutes ago. So, all right, that is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.